Hey guys! Things that take up space in my brain, part 22. The time when someone I didn't get along with was invited to a party that I was kind of responsible for. I don't want to take all the credit for the party because it wasn't hosted in my apartment. And but there were other people responsible for other things. For instance, it was a college town, and I was like, "Hey, I don't drink. You got to be responsible. Be BYOB if you want alcohol, because I won't drink, and I'm not buying it." I was too young to, anyways. I think I was 20 at the time. And so, anyways, we throw this party. It originally started. I had a crush on a guy, and I found out that he was alone for Christmas and that he wasn't going home to see his family because he had work and school and da 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 da. And so I liked him, but I was just kind of like, hey, like, and he was bummed, like he was really bummed. And so I was like, why don't we celebrate together? And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, like I'll cook. We can like watch movies or play games or something. And he was like, all right, cool. Like by the end of that conversation, he was like really excited, which made me feel really good because I was kind of bummed because it was going to be my first Christmas spending it away from my parents as well. So I was kind of bummed out too. So I was like, let's just celebrate together. And then before you knew it, there were actually like, I don't know, there were probably like 7 or 8 of us from that job that were going to celebrate together. And it was like, cool. Well, then it comes closer to the actual Christmas party, and we needed to swap apartments because the guy that was originally going to host it, his family actually surprised him. They're going to come visit him. So we talked to one of the other people, and one of the other people's like, yeah, we can do it at my party. We just, can't be crazy, can't make a mess, da 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 da. And so everybody agreed to it, and everybody's like, yeah, that's fine. And so it was like, okay, cool. And so we swapped to this guy's place, and I was responsible for all the food. And I show up at this party. I had all the food in my car. I needed to make 2 trips. So I start with one trip, knock on the door, they open it, whatever. I walk in, and sitting right there is the one person at that time that I did not get along with. And it wasn't like this was a secret. She and I did not get along. Everybody knew she and I did not get along. And I just froze. And I seriously thought about just putting everything on the counter and leaving. I did put everything on the counter after a couple seconds. I stared at her for a good 15, 20 seconds. And I go over and I set everything on the counter, and then I'm like, yeah, I gotta go get something else was in my car. And on that second trip, I just remember thinking, I'm just gonna leave. Not worth it. I'm gonna leave. This is gonna suck. We don't get along. Why would they invite her and not tell me? And it wasn't necessarily the fact that she was invited. Like, obviously we didn't get along, so I didn't want her to be invited. But it was the fact that this person deliberately didn't tell me that she was invited. And several people knew she was invited. And I was not told because they knew that I didn't get along with her. So rather than just saying, hey, we're thinking of inviting this person, everybody's okay with it, and giving me a chance to be like, well, I'm not okay with it, and then being like, well, we still want to invite her, and me being able to be like, okay, cool, I'm going to do something else with my Christmas. They didn't tell me because they knew that I would do something else. So that part kind of bugs me to this day, where I'm just like, come on. But at the same time, like, I could have left. So I decided to stay, and it did wind up being a pretty good night. And she and I, like, we were pretty good at kind of containing our dislike for each other. That night especially, we just kind of tried to keep it as peaceful as we could. There were a couple things that she did where I was kind of like, and I'm sure that it goes both ways. I'm sure I gave her reasons that I don't know about for her not to like me. Maybe she didn't like me because I can just be an idiot sometimes. That's okay. She's allowed. But, so there's a chance that she probably has the same feeling, that maybe as soon as she saw me at the Christmas party, her heart sank. But yeah, it was interesting. It was a very interesting party. I have a couple stories from this party that I will try to share before Christmas time hits. I have a funny story. I have an interesting story. I have a cringe story. I have another. I don't really know what it fits under. Irritating? I don't know. But, anyways, yeah, that's the time that I showed up at a party, and the one person at that time that I did not get along with and did not care for was there. And it almost ruined my Christmas. But thankfully, I chose to not let it ruin my Christmas and was still able to make some good memories at that party and some interesting memories at that party because people were crazy. Anyways, love you. Bye. Oh, by the way, that was things that take up in my brain part 22. I don't remember if I said that or not. So, anyways, yeah, love you. Bye again. Ha ha.